Disclaimer. The opinions expressed in this show are unfiltered and unrehearsed. Statements conveyed are personal and issued to the best of the ability and knowledge of the cast. They should not be taken as conclusive facts. Does This Offend You is not responsible for any mental, physical, or emotional damage sustained by its listeners. Viewer discretion is advised. Welcome to another episode of Does This Offend You? Today we talk about battling addiction, the generational gap, and the brutal underground world of gaming. If you thought World War II was bad, try playing through the original version of Modern Warfare 2. Thanks for watching, and stay tuned.
What do I have to say to make some money? What do I have to say to make some money? No offense.
All right, cool. Back into the swing of things. Always good to be back. Not that anyone out there even notices, but
So much brighter now.
yeah. Now that we did it earlier, just like our first podcast.
Yeah, this is like dead in the center of the day.
Yeah, it's
You
weird.
know?
It's weird, but I'll take it. Cool. So how you guys been? It's been a minute. Not that anyone out there notices this sort of thing, but yeah.
So, life's always been interesting. I think it's been like almost a month since we've recorded.
Yeah, just about.
So,
But
yeah, a lot of ups and downs. Been some
Yeah.
interesting times. A lot of interesting stories. I even found myself at a 1-year anniversary for someone's sobriety after their like 4th or 5th relapse, and
I'm sorry.
and I'm like, you know what, this might be the one that sticks.
Yeah,
Or at least I hope.
yeah. God willing, right? It's like this is finally it's gonna work out. Oh my god, dude.
Well, yeah, as the person at this party that knew the person the longest,
Yeah.
it was just kind of like, I'm probably the most skeptical, but I'm still kind of optimistic. But it was also kind of awkward because, again, like for most people to get sober, they usually join some kind of Christian group. So you don't need to believe in God or whatever to join these AA meetings or whatever the program is. But, religion helps.
Does
And
it?
so I show up to the party and they introduced me as the only Jew there and the person who's known them the longest. And I was like, wow, like that's quite the introduction there. But
Nice.
then everyone was just so wholesome and I was trying so hard to relate. They went into a prayer circle and I kind of went upstairs to get some chili and I dropped the lid. That was awkward. Everyone's staring at me like I'm a bad Jew and I was like, yeah, sorry.
Sorry to ruin your Christian
Yeah.
party.
But like I really did try to relate to these people. Like I went downstairs after they were done praying and I was like, yeah, man, like I'm pretty sure the most Christian things about me is the First Testament. I think Chick-fil-A is pretty cool and I don't really think Kanye did much wrong here, you know? And the group was a little bit too wholesome for that punchline right there.
How'd they react to that? Or they just didn't get it? Go over
Well,
their
my
heads?
buddy got it immediately. He was dying of laughter. The other people were just too uncomfortable to laugh because, again, these are all very wholesome people, very nice, sweet people, to the extent where they don't even know anything about my friend's past. And a lot of them are kind of looking at me kind of like, what do you know? And I was just like, I'm not going to tell you. I don't think he wants you guys to know.
How well do you know this friend? You said you've known him the longest out of anyone there?
Since high school.
Since high school. Cool. Do I know them?
Well, you're both brown, so it's possible you guys are somehow incest cousins or something down the
Right.
line.
That's the measure for knowing people.
yeah.
If they share the same tone as I do.
Exactly.
Okay. Yeah, well, it's a possibility. It's true. You never know.
Yeah. But other than that, no, I don't think you guys know each other unless you went to church ever in your life besides high school.
Then no, because I pretty much stopped going to church a long time ago. But yeah, I mean, I only ask because I don't want to start like ripping into this guy's life without at least knowing that you care. I don't know, like I don't want to be mean, but I feel like a lot of recidivists in our society are just gonna stay that way. They're complacent. And recidivist is just a fancy word for people who just keep falling back into the same habits over and over again. But I don't know, like, yeah, you want to have hope for these people, but I think anyone who, God, maybe I'm too altruistic. I don't know what it is, but I don't find that programs really help people. If you have to seek out help And I feel like that's already a lost. Ironically, there's 12 steps. I think the first step is already a step back when you have to go seek out help, because then you're just bound to the group, to the people who are there to help you. Like, you have to have a sponsor, right, for AA or something like that. Like, you need someone to call when you're like have the itch to drink, which is never a good sign. Like, I don't know what's like the completion rate or like the success rate for AA. I have no idea. I feel like a lot of people always find themselves back in AA, and without it, they fall apart.
I just think that people have certain weaknesses, and I think the biggest factor of these AA meetings is the belief in the higher power, or placing something into a higher power, because you have to really humble yourself in order to instill some kind of change. And I think that's what he primarily pursued, is that he pursued that higher power, but he also realized he hit a rock bottom over and over again, to a point where the only reason I was there, no, and I knew him the longest, is because I was probably one of the only people whose memories don't involve a lot of drinking and smoking and falling back into any bad habits. Because, like, as you guys know, I wasn't really an advocate of a promiscuous lifestyle, heavy drinking, any form of smoking. Like, I lived a fairly wholesome lifestyle, and I never expected that from my friends. And with him, we didn't, like, we had a crazy, friendship where we did a lot of stupid things together, but nothing like that. And I think for people in these programs where they even have to avoid caffeine, like, any stimulant at all is not allowed in these programs. And that's because they want these people to just kind of live in their life and not be enticed by anything. Don't alter your brainwaves in any way, shape, or form. And at this time, for the entire year, he kept it up. So again, I'm hopeful, and I think he put himself in more of a position to not fall backwards, because he doesn't talk to any of those influences he had before that, like, kind of aided in him falling back.
Right.
Like, yeah, even most of the conversations we have, I even avoid trying to talk about alcohol or any parties or anything that, like, was a fond memory that we had that involved that stuff. And if he gets invited to any parties or outings, he makes sure that there's not going to be any alcohol there. Like, and if he just doesn't go.
That's weird to me, man. I'll never I'm not going to sit here and pretend I'm going to understand what this guy's been through and what his perception is of all this, but I feel like true, like, healing or true like defeating any addiction is like being able to live your life in a normal capacity. And by normal, I mean, like, you shouldn't have to like jump through hoops to try to avoid the thing that's been like hindering you. Like finding a way to not avoid, like you just said, like, I have to if I go to a party, like, I gotta make sure no alcohol's there. It's like I can't show up if there's alcohol there, which is just doesn't seem natural to me. Like, I feel any person who's actually going to put themselves and commit themselves to actually beating an addiction in any form, whether it be alcohol, drugs, I don't know, sex, for instance, food, whatever your vice is, and we've talked about that. I'll plug that here several times. The real success comes in the form of actually being able to live your life as you did before these things influenced you. And that means, like, yeah, go to a party, but don't drink, and it's not a problem. Or hang around people who are just smoking weed or, I don't know, doing heroin. I don't know who you hang out with, but whatever. And then just don't do those things. That's fine. Like, you can live without them. You can be around them. I don't know. It's just weird that you can never, like, go back to just 100%. You have to, like, build these walls around yourself to protect yourself from the addiction, which just, I don't think that's true success. I don't think that's defeating an addiction.
Have you ever battled addiction?
I want to say yes, but maybe not to that degree. I can't just sit here and tell you that I've had.
Have you ever done enough of a drug or consumed much alcohol to the point where you could not perform basic duties in life, and it actually affected you negatively, and you still went for it?
Okay, well, full disclosure, I can say that I think I've battled porn addiction, and I don't really have a reference for it because I don't know how bad I got compared to other guys, because I never really opened up about this before. But I can really honestly commit myself to saying that, like, I've battled porn addiction where I had to cut it out from my life entirely, and then I found a happy medium where I got back into it, and, like, it was affecting me too. And I think I know Terry Crews is like a celebrity who actually came out and said this too, that affected him in his marriage before. I think as far as celebrities go, he's probably the most famous advocate for it. But yeah, porn. I think porn addiction's real. I think there's definitely people who take it too far, like any addiction. Like, porn's healthy and natural, just like having a couple beers is natural. But anybody in irresponsible hands, you can take it too far. And I feel like I was at a low point. Yeah, exactly. That was no pun intended, but thanks for picking that up. That was a good catch. I feel at one point in my life it was pretty bad. Like I just had to I didn't care about sex. I was just like, and to this day I feel like it's affected me to a place where like I sometimes prefer, like, instead of sex I'll just go watch something. I'll go flip on the tube instead of like seeking out sex, which is I don't know if that's like that's my plan A. Usually guys are like, plan A, I want to have sex. And then B, I'll masturbate if it doesn't work out. Sometimes I find myself like, I'd rather just have watch porn and get it over with. I don't know if that's normal. Is that like a thing? Like, you guys are two other guys. Like fill me in here. Am I too far gone, or is that just like?
I mean, I think the natural instinct for human beings was to pursue sex. Like, that's just how we're supposed to operate. Mm-hmm. And porn was kind of just like a back door to that, where we can still bust a nut and a healthy amount of nutting without having to do it in a human being. Mm-hmm. But even like looking at religion and stuff, they banned masturbation and stuff because I'm pretty sure they want you to spread your seed exclusively, and they don't want you to waste any of it. And I don't know, I just think it was just stigmatized, but I don't think porn is such a horrible thing. But I've heard both arguments. I just listened to one of the an Andrew Huberman having a conversation with Jordan Peterson. Andrew Huberman being like a professor at Stanford. He knows a lot about neurobiology, and we have a psychologist, another college professor, and Jordan Peterson, and they were basically exchanging ideas and what porn does to your brain, what masturbation does to the brain, what drugs do to your brain, and how it basically affects your body's ability to create dopamine and have that be processed through your system, and then how your body creates kind of like a tolerance to the dopamine. And it was a very fascinating conversation. I highly recommend everybody listen to that clip. It's like 10-15 minutes long, but very informative, and it really puts into perspective what happens when you do overuse anything that gives you a quick pleasure versus working hard for something and actually earning your dopamine releases, which achieving sex was. Like, sex was earned dopamine, and masturbation is just a quick, easy fix, which reduces your sensitivity to it.
Right. Instant gratification, I think, is the word that like psychologists use. Yeah. And that's where I was at one point. I seriously I gave up, and I would wait for the opportunity, and I'd jump on it. I'm like, oh my God, I'm off of work, fucking masturbate. And then an hour later, masturbate again. Like, I don't know, that's all I was doing. It was like a fucking cycle, like porn, masturbate, where I just I couldn't even and it got bad where I just didn't I didn't care about sex. Even when I was with somebody, it was hard for me to actually get it up. Like, it's, when I can get it easy somewhere else, why even go through the motions of sex? Why put myself through some activity when I could just use one arm instead of my whole body? I don't know, my brain was just justifying that porn was much easier to do, and therefore it was the better option of the two, rather than what was natural. So, yeah, I would say that I had a porn addiction, and there's still lingering effects to this day. And at one point, my record in my adult life was 14 months. I didn't look at porn or masturbate. And I want to say maybe 4 months out of that time, I was in a relationship. So the sex did get better. And I did have sex. So it wasn't like I was seeking a dopamine rush immediately. Like, it was fine. And then when I wasn't in a relationship, I just didn't touch myself. I had the biggest blue balls of all time, or whatever. I never reached blue ball status because I didn't care. It was a vice that was gone from my life, which was completely unnatural. So when I went I'm bringing it back to the alcohol thing. It's porn or alcohol, whatever it is. If you can't just be around it, if you shut yourself off completely from it, how do you function normally?
Well, I think that's why he surrounded himself with these people that are a lot more wholesome. So he found a new group of friends that don't engage in that type of activity, and he has amazing time hanging out with them, and it doesn't need the social lubricants that most people need to have fun. So he does successfully avoid it, but he knows himself to a point where he's made enough mistakes to know that it's best not to risk it, and I appreciate that. Like, I don't even hear from him a lot. A lot of plans with him are canceled, or he doesn't respond to my phone calls. But now I have the security of knowing that he's surrounded himself with people that take care of him, and he doesn't feel the need to be someone he was back in the day. He doesn't his mentality doesn't go back to those days where he was craving that type of attention, and I'm more for it. I think he's a lot healthier and he's doing a lot of good things. He even works for the center that he used to help him, you know, get rehab and take care of himself. And now he's giving out that advice to all these people, and he's it's nice too because he's giving it from a perspective of, hey, as someone who's been here before, as someone who's fucked up, as someone who's done this, I'm telling you right now, if you take these steps, you are more likely than not gonna be back here. So why are you gonna fight this? Like, let us help you and let us show you like a better way to handle this problem. And he's very successful at what he does, and he's very passionate about it too, very passionate, and I appreciate that about him. So, you know, prayers out. I hope for the best. I'm very optimistic, but I only want to hope for the best for my friends, and I advocate for people that take the hard steps, even if it means cutting out something socially, to better themselves. Because again, just like he doesn't need to drink the alcohol, he doesn't need to be at that party either. It doesn't matter to him. His life isn't any different. It's not better or worse from it. So why does it matter?
Well, it matters to me to the degree that it's affected. Like, I'm not saying, say, surround yourself in good influences. Do that. We've talked about that too before. Like, having good friends, positive friends, people who aren't just gonna drag you down. Surround yourself with good influences. Nothing wrong with that. I just think once you've entered this avenue in life where like you have to be surrounded by positive influences, like you can't just like influences. And you have to have all these things set up perfectly in sequence for you to survive, and you can't like allow yourself to just be around things that are like maybe negative to you, or live your life in some of the old fashioned that you did before. And I'm not saying you like pick up the drink and fuck yourself completely, go back to like whatever you were doing before. But like what's gonna stop you? Like, what if all your friends are at this party and they want to see you? It's like, hey, Joe, come over to the party. Like, we all missed you. It's been a while. And it's like, nah, I can't do it though. And I don't know how much time I'm gonna have in the future to see you guys again, whatever, and so on and so forth. And like, yeah, you don't have to go to the party, but now that you can't go to the party, it's something that's like it's irreparable. Like your life's been altered to the point where you can't face the addiction anymore face to face. And I feel like that's letting an addiction win to a degree. Yeah, you're better off. That's awesome. Good for you. But without all these things holding you up, like it's just weird to me. Like your life's altered. It's like it's different now completely. And yeah, for the better, but also just below the surface, it's like things have to be perfect, or else maybe you risk falling apart again. And I don't think that's like great. If it just, I don't know. There's something just weird under, like I said, it's buried underneath the surface. It's not perfect. It's not good. It's really kind of unhealthy in a way. I don't know. I'm talking out my ass a little bit because I never had to do what your friend has done, and I'm not trying to attack him personally. But I feel like if anyone's actually going to like defeat an addiction truly, they have to go back to the state they were before they had the addiction. And I mean like without having to do all these things to survive. I think that's the key word. You want to like thrive through life.
Well, I just think he wants to maximize his success.
Yeah.
And since he has fallen back a few times, of course addiction won. He'll never say otherwise. He's not going to sit there and be like, no, I'm beating addiction. No, he knows addiction has kicked his ass multiple times. And so now he's just going to increase the odds of not falling back into that. I think it's very admirable, the fact that he's sacrificing so much. But what's even more admirable is that he's turning the new life that he has into the comfortable one, and he's taking active steps to do so. I don't think there's anything wrong with cutting out that part of your life that wasn't good for you. We talked about it before. If it's toxic, you get rid of it. That life is toxic. He got rid of it. And that's a hard thing to do. Right, Vlad?
Sure.
Have you cut out your toxic friends?
Slowly.
There you go. It's not easy though, right?
Aside from having memories and all that and kind of empathy towards the idea of what was in the past, it's not that hard. You get tired of people's bullshit. You get tired of people not wanting to do things, feeling sorry for themselves, and you remove the bad fruit.
Right. I mean, I have a friend that got out of a 9-year relationship, and it's really hard to convince the guy that who she was 9 years ago is not who she is today. Right now, she's batshit fucking crazy, and I guarantee if you met this person 9 years ago, you wouldn't be in love with them the way you are. And that I think for a lot of people, it's hard for them to let go of the person they had from the past. It's hard for them to let go of a life they had before, and moving on is not as easy as it sounds.
No.
Or it's just hard to accept the person that they were dating before they show their true colors and kind of trying to balance out properly the good from the bad. A lot of people want to, like me personally, my biggest issue is I like to emphasize the good in people, even if they're total shit. I try to emphasize the goodness in myself to not be mean to them, to not put them down, to not treat them like shit. But in reality, as I've learned over my years, most people are just that. They are shit. A lot of them are leeches, and especially when you're wearing rose-colored glasses in regards to romance, you don't want to accept that there's a lot of bad piling up that's starting to outweigh the good. Don't get me wrong.
Yeah.
I believe that there can be a balance of good and bad. I don't believe the whole concept that some people have in this world, which I have an issue with, is that the moment you see any red flags at all or just bad in general, run away. It's like nobody's perfect, and I wouldn't want to find myself a identical clone of myself who literally has the same values or the same ideas as me. I get bored. I'd like to have somebody who can challenge my views. But again, you have to be able to see the bad in a person. If that person, as your friend's ex, uh, really piled on the bad over 9 years, he's just having a hard time accepting that there is a lot of bad that he's trying to ignore.
And I think that's what's most important here. For example, like the first red flag should have been you stole her from somebody else. So clearly she's not loyal. But again, what I will say though is I think dating is not about someone's evil coming out. I think that personality is always there. It's the rose-colored glasses that kind of cover it up. But the other problem is that not only do they have these characteristics that you've already ignored, but as we get older, like when you're dating someone when you're in your teens, when you're in high school versus when you're in your late teens versus when you're in your early 20s versus when you're in your late 20s, people tend to change. And unless you both are growing together and you're becoming people that kind of can work well together, that's one thing. And I've seen a lot of long-term relationships end up in marriages. But you also see these people who had this concept of what a relationship should be in high school and they dated that person, but then they both have these attachment issues and they can't let go of the relationship. Even though they're both changing, they ignore these red flags. And I think red flags are, I mean, my definition of a red flag is this is a 100% absolute no-no. Some people have too many red flags and they become too picky, and that's a problem, yes. But I think sometimes when you have certain red flags, like, I don't want a girl that punches me in the face, but that's the only flaw she has. It's kind of like that game that people play, like, she's a 9, but she has a son, you know? Automatically drops her down to a 2. Like, I think you need to have red flags because you need to have limitations. You need to have boundaries in relationships, and you need to know what you're comfortable with and what you can operate with, because no matter how much you're willing to forgive, there are certain things that even in the long run, you are going to grow resentful from for. And
And that's fair.
yeah,
It's like you said yourself. There should be red flags. I agree with you fully. My whole thing is my spiel was that there should be a degree to what extent those red flags really play the role. Because again,
right.
nobody is perfect. There's anybody who lives out there going around saying, "Oh, I can find the perfect man or the perfect woman," this and that. You're not gonna find them. They don't exist. We all have baggage, one way or
Yeah.
another. It's just what degree are you willing to settle versus what degree. I wouldn't even say settle. what degree is more or less normal on a society basis versus what's like, yo, I can't.
Yeah, I think what people really do need to distinguish though is what's a red flag and what's kind of like a yellow flag. A yellow flag being something that I don't really like, but I can deal with it, versus, red flags, which are so like, oh, she still talks to her ex-boyfriend. That's an easy red flag for a lot of people, you know? But as far as I think we were talking about addiction goes, and people that need to cut things out of their life, yeah, it's again, I think like our lives around us change, and we need to be ready to adapt to that. Because I think also it's not healthy for people to hold on to things that they had in their past because they can't accept that those things aren't what they used to be, and that includes going out and partying and seeing certain friends that influenced you in a way that you were not that you are now not comfortable with.
Yeah, I think, well, one fact of life is that, change always going to happen, whether you like it or not. I think everyone just should accept that. If you don't, see a therapist. We're not going to do that for you. You really have to acknowledge that. But that, tying it into the relationships, you can become very different over time. I understand that. You change. We talked about that. Yeah, and so on and so forth. But these red flags, would you agree that some can develop over time? Like some of them aren't just there to begin with, but as people change, you like see things that weren't
Yeah.
there before. Yeah. So
Yeah.
change is always going to happen, and I always advocate for people changing for the better, and that sometimes means relationships have to fall apart for people to become better. You can't just be stuck on someone for 9 years and expect to grow from that, especially when it's toxic. That's a whole different story. But sad as it is, you can grow apart from people as you're becoming better, and things that stagnate aren't going to be healthy, especially in relationships. Like, I talk from experience. I always, I think we talked about this in episode 3 or something like that, put up there. But I assume that I can judge people very quickly, very harshly, but I give them a benefit of the doubt. But if I'm entering into a relationship with somebody, it takes me maybe too much for my own good. I can understand the red flags very early on, and I tolerate it for a little bit as much as I can because I'm selfish in that way. Because I just want to be in a relationship, or maybe the sex is too good. But it all ends the same. Like, I'm not gonna speak on my current relationship, but in the past, yeah, I've sat through relationships knowing the red flags, but kept people around, and I even expressed it to my partner, where I'm like, I don't like this about, like, it's not great. Like, I'm not that kind of person. You are, so on and so forth, and then we mutually agree to continue going until the wheels fall off. But you're not always going to get that. You're going to have people who are just going to never acknowledge their faults and how different they are until it explodes, and not in a good way. But anyway, I'm just kind of ranting.
I'm going to say is that, again, this is me tying back to the original point, is you're not going to find the perfect person. You're going to find things that don't match up for you, and people have a very bad tendency of trying to find the person that has no flaws in this world, especially today's society. Everybody needs, all those people need to swallow the pill and realize you will not find that. Get over yourself on that measure. You're going to find people that do not see eye to eye with you on everything. You're going to find people who don't agree. I'll give you an example. When we had the presidency for Trump in 2016, him announcing how many people were in favor of him being president, how many relationships on social media were being posted about, oh, my boyfriend or my girlfriend's a Trump supporter, and that's it, last straw broke it. Guys, get the fuck over it. As long as it's not somebody supporting a genocide, get the fuck over it. Okay? You can have different political views, you can have different tastes in food, you can have different appeals for, I don't know, hanging out and having fun. There's more to a relationship than just the little petty things. Again, measure it out. The good with the bad. Obviously, if the bad's getting so overwhelmingly bad, it's toxic. Get the fuck out. Don't waste your time. But don't squander. I know plenty of people who like to squander up relationships, whether it's romantic or friendships, over very minute little things, and it just makes me constantly sit there and wonder, like, why did you even start this? You're so fucking easy to break like a goddamn fall leaf that you crumble under even the slightest inconvenience. Get over it. Nobody will see the way you see it. Like, even prime example with us, we all argue a lot. You don't see any of us fucking breaking our friendships off. No, we argue. We don't see eye to eye on a lot of things, whether it's political, whether it's party life, socializing, whatever. We don't see in a lot of things, but at the same time, we can get along and talk because, the bad doesn't outweigh the good. And again, at the end of the day, it's just that's that hard pill to swallow for so many people where they want to find their ideal individual. It doesn't happen. You can get close, you can get somebody who's like really just like great, but I guarantee even then you're gonna have some divides. And if you're gonna crumble under it, you're gonna be setting yourself up to be alone for life. And this is not me advocating to accept things like being abused, whether it's verbally, emotionally, physically. Don't settle for that.
So I would actually, so two things on what you just said. I never understood politics' place in society. There's always that weird what's that stigma? Like, you would never bring up politics at Thanksgiving dinner or whatever because it always turns into like a family feud. Yeah, I agree. I don't understand like how you can entirely sum up one's character based on their political views. Like, there's so much more to a person. So I don't get why that even comes up. Like, big deal, you support this person over this person, and then move on. I don't care. I don't know. It's always been a weird anomaly to me. But moving on from that, I feel like what you said about like people trying to find the perfect person is, yeah, that's a problem, but I don't think that's the paramount problem when it comes to like, I guess, addiction and love in society. So what I will say is that I think people are really, really too quick to go seek out relationships and love in a significant other. I feel like the real addiction is romance. Like, people are obviously, not a lot of people want to be alone, especially by choice, which is a whole other subject, to each of their own, their preference. But I feel like most people, the majority of people, are ones who like really, it's our nature. We want to seek out someone else to create a family with, procreate, share life, etc. That's deep down. But I think now it's been exacerbated where people are quick to go find someone else. Like, they need to have somebody. I feel like that's an epidemic in society. And
Aren't those your like least favorite friends, the ones that can't not be in a relationship? Like, when they're in one, everything they post it all on social media, all lovey-dovey bullshit.
God
But when
damn.
they're single, they just post the most depressing, kill me, I'm gonna join the military stuff. And like, shut the fuck up. Just be single for a little bit because you need this.
Yeah, I mean, that just spells healthy, right? When you're just on autopilot seeking out relationship after relationship. Yeah. I know so many people like that, and part of growing up is understanding that you don't need to grow up with someone else attached to you the entire time, and like that's part of what the maturing thing we talk about, how you grow up over time. Some people realize they don't really need to be in a relationship, and that's what causes some of those things in your late 20s or early 20s, whatever time in your life, to fall apart. And I don't know, like, I can tell you for a fact there's someone in my life who's never going away, who I know is just jumping from one relationship to the other, and they'll give you the fucking spiel. Speaking of addiction, they'll tell you, oh, it's fine, I can be single for a while, or I'm not drinking, I'm finally over it. Same concept. I'm not going to be in a relationship for a while, I can just be me. And then a fucking 2 weeks later, they're already on a date talking to like 50 people. I'm just like, fucking A, man, it's the same cycle over and over again. And
I think that mostly stems from people wanting, not needing, but wanting validation from people outside themselves, especially the opposite sex. Because that is the most satisfying validation, when you're desired by the opposite sex. And I think these people are addicted to that. And I think that's massively unhealthy, because it is possible to be happy with yourself and have some form of self-confidence. But when you don't have a lot of positive feedback in your life, especially positive feedback that you want, I can see them being addicted. And then, yes, these are the people that jump from relationship to relationship, even though it's not a good match, even though it's whatever, but they're getting that feedback. That's all they really need. And I think that's what really, really annoys me about that. Is that like, you clearly need to be single because no relationship you're in is gonna be healthy. It's scary. You just never know what you're gonna get.
I just think that and this is going to be, I'm trying to say this properly without coming off the wrong way, but this might rub people the wrong way, whatever. I think that today's society has become very accepting of weakness. I think that today's society has become accepting of weakness, where we don't make people, we make people feel like it's okay to be weak. Like when we say, hey, you got out of a relationship, it's okay if you can't be by yourself, go and be a whore and jump into the next one. It's okay if you have an addiction, you need to be supported and held up, and we're gonna make it everything our way. It's like, we don't tell them anymore, hey, get over it and, toughen up and pull yourself together. We try to support people. We create a lot of like safe spaces and stuff. We encourage men specifically to be more feminine and express emotions and all this stuff. And we've talked about that in one of the episodes before, where we talked about men's mental health and how we kind of put guys down for talking about their emotions. Society, in my opinion, and this doesn't mean it's a bad thing all the way. Like I said, I support the aspect of giving people the space to kind of let out their frustrations and not bottle everything constantly. But at the same time, we are, as a society as a whole, we're not as tough as we used to be. We don't go to war and, support our troops like we used to be as heroes. We're kind of, if anything, we kind of bash them. We don't support police the way we used to, as being the ones there to protect us. We bash them as being our killers now. We've really oppressors, yeah. We've really turned society into this whole entire soft spot where we have to hold their hand. And I mean, we're getting to the point where we're telling people, hey, ignore your bodily functions. You want to be a woman, be a woman. Want to be a man, be a man. Want to be a fucking stripper pole, be a stripper pole. You can do whatever you want because we're going to support you. And that to me is just, we're literally setting these seeds and this action of motion where we're telling people it's okay to not be strong. It's okay to be a fuck up.
Yeah, I'm going to double down on what you said. Like, I 100% agree with a lot of what you said. And what I will want to add to that is I don't think therapy is what it used to be. Because I think back in the day, first of all, therapy was massively stigmatized. But nowadays, therapy has turned into this club where they want everybody to feel included. So now you have all these like young college graduates, maybe they got their masters at most or something, but they end up becoming counselors. And instead of being actual psychologists that back in the day were a lot more inquisitive, they'd ask you questions and they'd help guide you to, learn about yourself and accept your flaws and then take accountability. I think nowadays therapy has turned into, oh, this is super easy. I just get to talk to people and make them feel loved and warm and welcomed, but I don't have to like do anything, because that's what like a shitty friend is. I think a very shitty friend is someone that advocates for you to do the worst possible thing just to feed your negative inclinations. Like, they're the type of person that'll be like, oh yeah, just go fuck another person, you'll get over him, no problem. But a therapist would be like, okay, well, why do you feel like you need that support? And they'd pretty much guide you to take accountability or find a source of your anger or your pain and kind of accept it and remove it. Nowadays, it's just kind of like, oh, well, if it'll make you happy to do this negative action, then you should just go do it. Like, who the fuck are you basically making me take back all this progress I made in getting over this person? And I just think that we're losing a lot of accountability because now people are, as you said, like allowed to run rampant. They're allowed to acknowledge their psychosis. And a lot of therapy these days, instead of actually trying to talk to someone, they're like, okay, well, before we get started, would you like any medication? Can I get you like Ritalin? Can I get you an SSRI? They're always looking for some kind of pharmaceutical to be a quick fix versus actually diving deep into the problem and trying to solve it.
Yeah. What's it like? The comfort breeds weakness, and then the second saying is, weak people make hard times make strong people.
Yeah.
And then so on and so forth. There's like a
Strong
cycle.
Strong men make good times. Strong men bring happy times.
Sorry. Does anybody know this on this podcast? Maybe out there, someone tell us how this goes. But you've all heard it, right?
Yeah. Oh no! Oh,
So
sorry. No, strong men bring happy times. Happy times bring weak men. Weak men bring hard
hard
times,
times.
and hard times
Yeah.
bring strong men.
Yeah.
Something like that.
I think that's the cycle
Um,
we're in. I think we're about due for a rebalance in society where everyone starts getting fed up with a bunch of weaklings governing what we're
Well,
doing.
yeah, just look at the generations before us. You have the baby boomers who were born from the GIs. The GIs were the warriors. The boomers are the ones that were in happy times. And now we're coming from the boomers. We're the millennials. And so we're the ones that are coming, that are kind of like fighting this war because Gen Z out here is having it way too easy. You
Yeah.
know, like there's this cycle where boomers were weak, then there's us where we're just kind of like, well, why are we suffering for your guys' bullshit? And that's the beauty of, oh, sorry, Gen X is the children of the boomers who are
happy
very
times.
hardened. They're the, no, Gen X are the hardened ones. Gen X are the people whose parents were off doing shit as if Woodstock never ended, and they're at home having to take care of themselves. So they're like the generation of we don't care for your bullshit. If you want to talk to me, just make it clear, concise, and quick. Versus like if you're trying to appeal to a boomer or a millennial, you have to like add emotion to your thing. Kind of like these like talent shows like American Idol or America's Got Talent where the contestants come on and they almost boost their value when they have some kind of stupid sob story. While a Gen X would look at them and be like, "Well, can you fucking sing or not? I don't give a shit.
Yeah.
Like this is my money on the line. Just quick and straight to the point."
Yeah,
So like you see this difference in people, and now you see that we have this very soft reality around us, and as millennials we're just kind of caught in between it, where some of us have parents that are more Gen X, we have some parents that are more boomers, and then you have these Gen Zers that are born into this world where everyone is advocating for psychosis.
yeah.
You know, it's interesting to me just the aspect of therapy and whether it works or not, and if it's meant for everybody. Like for me personally, at one point, I went to therapy because my parents thought I was unhappy. So they sent me to therapy, and I was like, okay, I'll go. Fuck it. Went there, talked to the therapist, and we had a few sessions, I think like 5 or 6. And at the end of it, she's like, so hearing everything you're saying, it just seems like you want to get away from your family. And I'm just like, yeah, good call there. And she's like, so you should probably move out, or just, I'm like, I mean, that's the goal. That's what I'm trying to do. And I remember telling it to my family, and they flipped out. They got so mad. They're like, what the hell kind of therapist is this saying this to you? Yada, yada. And I'm like, you wanted the truth or what? But this therapist was also a Slavic, whatever. I don't remember. She was Russian or whatever. But she was more like hard and going on you. I've had, I don't know, Danny, if you remember Josh, the one who passed away a
Yeah.
few years ago. He had, when I was in college with him, he had a girlfriend, and after they broke up, he was a wreck. So his family sent him to therapy, and I remember talking to him years later about it, and he was like, yeah, the therapist basically just dragged me through the mud and made me go like, what the fuck are you sobbing over?
Jeez.
And I
Wow.
and he's like, I needed to hear that. He's like, I needed to be dragged through the mud to stop being such a fucking pussy about it. And then I have another therapist experience with through another person I know, where her sibling goes to therapist and comes out being trans. And just hearing this person describe to me the sort of thing that this therapist has been feeding her sibling, who is now a trans female, I just remember being like, why would you allow your sibling to go to that? Why would you allow them to be taken into a position where they're, from what you're describing me, I don't know if it's being accurate or not, but you're describing me where essentially the therapist kind of pushed them into that direction. Instead of telling them like, yo, you might have something off going on in your head, but push them into it. I don't know. And for me, it's like I was talking to one of my buddies, and he has a family member that he wants to send to therapy who's a lot younger. I think the kid's like 11. And I was talking to him, I'm like, do you think it's really gonna work? You know, we discussed the whole situation through my experiences, and he's like, honestly, no. And he's like, I mean, he's like, for me or people like our age, he's like, it probably won't work. We're too old. We're too programmed. We're not gonna, we're not gonna. You're an old horse. It's really hard to make a old horse go to the river and drink the water. You're gonna be set in your ways. A kid though, they're a lot more moldable. They're still learning. They can be, they can be guided into certain things, certain directions, and that definitely made me think about the prospect of the power that therapy really holds over certain people, especially the younger ones, because like I said, speaking from my own personal experience, I'm older, I'm set in my ways. Therapy for me doesn't work because I don't have anything that I'm really abruptly like quiet about. If I have an issue, anybody who really knows me in real life, I will say it to you. I don't like to, beat around the bush. But some people, when they get put into therapy, it's a very difficult thing because, as Omid uh, pointed out, where now they offer you drugs. And what else did you say? You said, oh, you were making the point about how they just kind of let you
They
off the
don't.
hook. They don't really, as I was saying before, they don't drag you through the mud. They don't make you have to take responsibility for your actions and be like, in your case, like you said, where
They
they're
remove the
pushing.
accountability from you.
Yeah, they're not telling you to be single. They're just
Yeah,
like,
basically blame the world around you. Don't blame anything on yourself because the world is against you.
yeah.
Yeah.
So, I mean, in some ways, the world really is set up against us. It's the honest truth, but at the same time, that sucks. You're a grown ass person. Get the fuck over it.
The world's always
Go
set
handle.
against you. That's nothing new, man. That's everybody deals with that. Every generation. The
No,
fact
but
is how you
the
handle
problem,
it is what changes
yeah.
through
If you're gonna
generations.
sit there and whine and feel and say "woe is me" and feel sorry for yourself, or you're gonna say, you know what, it is what it is, and push your way through it, you're gonna make a big difference. And for me, it's kind of like I wasn't born rich. I've never had. I mean, I wasn't born rich. But I was. We were born. We came here. We were poor as shit. And growing up, broken toys. But my family always did what they could to take care of me. And I feel like I came out of a loving home. I'll give them that. I know plenty of people who've had things fall in their lap, and for me, it's kind of like, you're lucky. Good for you. Don't squander it. If something falls in your lap, it's your responsibility to put aside all the distractions, whether it's hanging out with dumb fucks, video games all day, I don't know, whatever the fuck else you do to waste time. Go handle your responsibilities. Something you had a good thing fall in your lap, that's a fucking blessing, man. And a lot of people don't have that.
I think
And
that's like the biggest difference between a man and, being a boy. I think the first sign of someone becoming a man is taking responsibility for your actions. And I think that's what we're kind of removing now. We're removing the, again, accountability, the taking responsibility for shit.
yeah. And like the worst part for me is, like I've talked about this before, I have friends who have, this is going back to the whole entire useless friends prospect. I have friends who I know for a fact can work and do a lot, but they are just so lazy. They would rather sit around playing video games as often as much as they can, going out, hanging out with their friends, going to the bars or clubs, whatever. And I'm just like, dude, we're not in our 20s anymore. Most of us are in our 30s. Some of you guys are older than me. Time to grow the fuck up. Time to stop. Time to tell your friends, hey, let's hang out once a week, maybe, if not once every 2 weeks. And regards to video games, say bye. Hey, I'm busy. I gotta go study this. And if you can't take a class, you have YouTube. Figure it out. Get your ass on. You're in the world of technology. You're the whole knowledgeable library of the world is on your phone, on your computer. Get to it. Start learning your craft. Especially if you have something that lands in your fucking lap. Get it done. Your dumb fuck friends who don't do shit, who have no responsibility, who want to feel like the world is a mean place, that they are just unlucky. They're gonna be unlucky for the rest of their life because you know what? They don't do shit. Even if they have a fucking blessing fall in their fucking lap, they won't know what to do with it. They're so fucking weak.
Isn't that the beauty of today's society, though, where a lot of us are, for the most part, so coddled and we feel so safe. We have all these safety nets that we don't have any urgency to do anything with our lives, but then we want to blame the world when we don't get the things we want because we're not really taught that we have to work for the things we want. Everybody just wants to be lazy nowadays, and I'm speaking in hyperbole in it, so just be aware. I'm aware of that. But people aren't hitting rock bottom enough to realize that they need to work hard for the things they want, and they just won't do it. But again, like with my buddy that was battling addiction over and over again, he hit some significant rock bottoms that I can't really get into. But that's why you kind of get hopeful that maybe this is when they realize that, like, there are no second chances, there is no safety net. You need to figure this shit out, or you might as well just be dead, because your life isn't going to get easier from here. It only gets harder and harder.
Is this the same friend who sucked dick for a ride home?
No, this is not.
All right. I just wanted to reference that.
That's a different issue, though.
Okay, cool. Just wanted to get that out of the way. Also wanted to segue into our commercial break because I do want to talk a little bit more about this, but now is a good time to cut to an advertisement so I can collect my thoughts, or probably not. You know, my brain does what it wants. So we're taking a minute here, and we're going to come back with more of Does This Offend You right after this. Does This Offend You is absolutely, definitely, and undoubtedly brought to you by this 100% totally real sponsor.
All right, this just in, folks. Seems like Call of Duty Modern Warfare has just been released today, which means I have a PSA for all you fantasy football fans out there. If you own Kyler Murray, bench his ass right now. Maybe even drop him. His season thus far without Modern Warfare has been absolute ass, and it's only downhill from here. My boy has a video game addiction, and it could cost him millions and millions of dollars, but my man does not give a shit. So for all you fantasy football gamblers out there, put him on your bench. I don't care who you pick up. It could be Russell Wilson for all I care, but anybody but him right now, all right? Back to you guys.
That's actually a very poignant observation. I just saw the picture you sent too. Kyler Murray out tonight. Call of Duty Modern Warfare 2 comes out today. That's pretty good.
Have you guys seen, like, there's statistics that were being put up about how every single year in Kyler Murray's career, like, he starts off every season very well, but then there's a drop-off point, and the drop-off point always correlates when Call of Duty comes out. And they're also finding that Kyler Murray doesn't watch tape anymore. He'll spend all his free time playing Modern Warfare, and that's why they had to put a no video game clause in his contract. But as we all know who follow football, it's very thin market out there for quarterbacks, so they were stuck not only re-signing him for like a max deal, but also giving him a lot of guaranteed money. So they kind of bit them in the ass because they almost lost him for that no video game clause.
That's fucking hilarious. Wow.
Yeah.
Most people have like a weight clause. He gets the video game.
He gets a video game clause, yeah.
Although he can
like there's all these weird incentives in people's contract, like you can't smoke weed for a year. It's just like, this is great. Like we need you to not do certain things in your free time. Is it bad for my health? No, it's bad for business right now.
God, that's fucking hilarious. Okay, so.
I will say it's crazy how video games impact people's lives, though, huh?
Yeah, of course. It's a modern phenomenon. It's impacted society, and it's never going back to the way things were. What is it like?
No, yeah, go ahead.
Well, I'm just saying, like, since the video game's inception in like the 80s, like, you know, people stopped going out as much and exercising as much. There's new forms of entertainment.
Actually.
And especially since the new age of video games where it's all online, like you don't even get to see your friends anymore and have to go to their house and put the effort in to pick up the other controller. You just turn it on your TV and you're done. That's the end of it. It's just kind of sad, but you know, I digress. I don't want to. We can definitely talk about video games, which will probably like upset Omid because he doesn't know.
Do you think? Actually, we can go into this. Do you think it attributes to the feminization of men? because they're not out and about fighting each other, playing sports. Instead, they're at home playing video games and dropping N-bombs at each other anonymously.
Honestly, it's not even like that anymore either with the N bombs because Modern Warfare 2, the original one when that came out, the like Call of Duty lobbies back in the day used to be fucking brutal.
Yeah.
That was a place to go get fucking like bullied to the point that you want to commit suicide. Now they don't even do that anymore.
Really?
You want to talk about like a generational gap and how like you breed weak men and etc. and so on and so forth. Like people who didn't grow up in a Halo 3 lobby, you know who those people are. You know who the weaklings are in society. Because if you entered, you like welcome to the fucking Thunderdome, folks. If you played like video games like when they started having online forums, like I think Xbox and PlayStation 2 were the first to do it, and then PlayStation 3 and Xbox 360 were like basically the height of it all. You entered like public domain with a microphone on and people were just cussing you out, fuck your mother, N-word this, N-word that. Like they're all like 12-year-olds too. It like didn't make fucking sense, but still put some fucking hair on your chest. You went into a fucking actual war zone if you put that microphone on and picked up that controller in like, you know, the late 2000s. Yeah,
And the golden age of swatting.
Yeah, so dude, remember
Do you
swatting?
think it developed thick skin?
Oh
yeah.
absolutely,
Oh, yeah.
dude. You had to
yeah.
You had to take it all, you had to bear all the insults and then put like you have to dish them out too. And you know people who
especially
quit
if
lobbies,
you lost.
Yeah.
Especially if you lost.
Especially, dude.
And people saw it and they replayed that clip and you oh my god, you got fucking just
Yeah.
I don't mean to make this political, but can either of you guys explain to me what Gamergate was?
What the fuck?
what is a gamer?
Have you guys
No idea.
have you heard of this?
No.
I don't know. Like I remember back when Milo Yiannopoulos was like rising in popularity, he made a lot of comments on Gamergate because I guess it was the culture in video games where men were being biased against females, but I don't understand. I don't know what was going on, but I assume it has something to do with these chat rooms too that you guys seem to be very familiar with. I don't know though.
I mean, originally women weren't very muchly known for video games. They've definitely blown up in the scene, especially like on Twitch streaming and stuff. Women,
Yay, titties.
Yeah, absolutely. It's the complete opposite now, but sorry.
Yeah, they've blown up. Before it used to be really rare that you saw a girl, and that's why whenever a girl joined a chat room, like everybody flipped out, like holy shit, it's a chick. Are you hot? Are you a virgin? Type of shit. Like that was how the conversation went.
Are you a virgin?
Yeah,
Yeah.
But
they would get swarmed in lobbies for sure.
Yeah.
Jesus.
And yeah, it's crazy. But no, it's completely different now. Yeah. But what I was gonna say was what was my original thought with this? Oh, yeah, how video games impact the world for me. I live with Danny, and he's seen I have like a PS2, I have an Xbox 360, I have a Xbox One X, Xbox Series X, and I think a Wii or some other shit. Anyway, we have a bunch of video game stations here, consoles. Me personally, I barely play them. And don't get me wrong, I've had those times. I remember like Red Dead Redemption 2 came out, or Call of Duty Cold War, and some of them I played probably for like a month. I was on it, stuck. But then after a few weeks, I get bored. And especially now with my ongoing projects, I just don't have time for video games. I am constantly, most of the time, out of the house. And it just, not playing video games, I don't miss it. I'm not really, like, I'm sure that something will come out at some point that will probably pique my interest for a little bit again, so I'll probably play. And yeah, of course, it's always great to be online with my friends and hang out and talk online. Play together. But I don't understand people who, I know a lot of people who sit every single day or night and play video games, whether it's on PC or on console, especially with friends. And I'm just like, in my head, whenever I see it or hear, I'm like, dude, get the fuck off. Go do something. Stop being fucking lazy. And, you know, and I know so many people who are like, you've seen those like stereotypical movie characters who are fat in their 40s in their mom's basement. I sort of feel like that might be the future for some of these people, because I don't know what the fuck they're doing. They have no fucking, like, they might have some interest outside of the video game world, whether it's working out, whether it's fucking building some shit, whatever. That's fine, but get the fuck off the video games. Like, I'm not gonna name my friends because I don't want to, out of sheer respect, but I just get blown away from them. Like, I know so many people who just sit all day playing games. I wish I had that time to do that, but I don't. I have responsibilities.
Well, Number one, it's Steve. So you're talking the friend you're talking about, Steve, the guy who plays
Not
video games
Steve.
all day.
Actually, not Steve. Not Steve this time. Not Steve. Because
Okay.
Steve actually gets out of the house and does work now.
All right, we talked about this right here in this episode, something about sports and video games. I recall about some, the difference between those things. But okay, I'm gonna come out and say it, play devil's advocate for your conversation on your side. But now, like video games, like be careful what you say because it's just such a huge culture around it, especially since every goddamn person and their mother now streams and makes money off of it. Now it's become a job. So when you say people are like, get off the video games, it's like, why? I'm making money playing fucking games all day. Why should I? I don't agree with it, but that's the reality. People are now making tons of money just sitting there playing games all day. Because people are willing to watch it. It's insane to me. But anyway, yeah, go ahead.
So first off, do you know what the average income is for an average Twitch streamer with like, I don't know, maybe 100 subs?
Nope.
They don't make much. I know a few people who do stream on Twitch. They make maybe 3,000 to 5,000 a month, on average. It's not a lot of money.
That's not a lot of money. $5,000 a month.
Not a lot of money. Not in
$60,000 a year.
That's not much,
dude. For playing video games, that's not much.
The average income for the country, I think, is like 50 grand a year.
So you're making more than the median playing video games, and that's not a lot of money for what you're doing. For what you're doing, dude.
Considering the fact that you are
you serious?
Considering the fact that you're also, putting your body isn't doing anything when you're playing video games other than your hands for the most part. You're also killing brain cells. You're not developing anything. You're possibly even ruining your eyes. You're stuck in a room where you're not having any fresh air. You don't get any vitamins from being outside in the sun. You're hurting yourself, and for very basic income, I don't think it's worth it. Don't get me wrong, if you're a fucking ninja who makes millions of dollars and possibly even coming close to billions because of all the advertisement revenue that he gets, that's a different story. But most people aren't ninja. Most people don't make that kind of money. Most people make, like I said, maybe $3,000 to $5,000 additional dollars a month, and that's it. And I'm not a greedy person, but at the same time, I know for a fact that if you're gonna strive to make money, strive to make a lot of money. Don't hurt people on the way, don't screw people over, but strive to make good money. And I'm a firm believer in the concept of work hard, play hard. Make a lot of money, have a lot of fun.
Okay. I was sitting here trying to play devil's advocate, and all you've done is strengthen the argument for the opposite. It's just like, hey, you want to make a lot of money and also just play games all day? Like you can make that amount of money just doing nothing. Like you said, work hard, play hard. These people can do both at the same time. Can you imagine that? When
I'm saying play hard, I'm not saying video games. I'm saying celebrate, enjoy your life. Like for me, I think I've mentioned this before to a lot of people. When folks go out every weekend and celebrate and they're not making shit money-wise, they go to get bottle service or they go out to a bar all the time. I'm just like, to me, it's kind of like, why are you going out every weekend? What the fuck are you celebrating? What have you achieved in your life that you're so happy and ready to go hang out with your friends and go get drunk every weekend? What? You have a shitty fucking job. You're living in a shitty fucking apartment, most likely, in a shitty fucking residency. Stop wasting money and going out. Figure out a side hustle. Make some fucking money.
Well, this may shock you, but it's not everybody's endeavor in life to make a lot of money. Some people are like, that's not the goal for like a lot of people. And we've definitely talked about this. I remember saying that like time's more valuable to me. So in that equation, if I spent all my time playing fucking video games and I'm getting paid for it this is a form of entertainment, mind you. I'm having fun. It's not work to me. It is the polar opposite of work. And I'm getting paid to do that, like an actual median income of like over the median income, $60,000. Dude, okay, I can make that argument for going to an office job. Like people who just have developed back problems sitting in a chair all day, typing at their computer like this. Like they have to go see, like they have scoliosis and shit like that. Like you can make the argument sitting around all day at a regular 9-to-5 job. But take away the 9-to-5 part and just put video games in front of me. Like I'm doing the same thing sitting at a computer. You get that, right? Like most people in this, especially here in Silicon Valley, they're sitting at a computer already, but they're not doing anything fun. They're working with fucking numbers and code and shit, and it's just like fizzling in their brain, and they fucking hate it. And they go home, and they're like, I wish I could fucking play some video games right now, but I still have more work to do. Okay? Flip that. Now you're sitting in front of a computer still developing the same fucking issues, but you're playing a goddamn video game? How are you not selling this to people right now? Like, if they can make actual money right now.
Because you're not contributing anything to society.
I know that.
At least with code, you're doing something that you can. With code, you're building something that can be made into an actual profit. Versus video games, you're just doing nothing, and it's like jacking off all day and getting paid for it.
It's called entertainment.
Dude.
Of course it is. But I'm saying, go make a fucking OnlyFans.
Careful with that fucking argument, because I would say that people are destroying society who actually contribute to apps and like technological developments. You're actually making society worse by making, like we were saying earlier, making things easier for people. They become weak and they breed like a shitty world for the rest of us. You know what? Like,
I'm not saying make it easy for the world. Like, I'm saying it's something to improve the world.
But I would argue that a lot of technology does the opposite. It takes away from society, and we definitely talked about it here.
With you with
cool,
that.
I know. Okay, so I'm just saying, like, you can't just insert that and say like people like are contributing to society. Sometimes they make it worse, but like also video games contribute as a form of entertainment for other people. Again, I don't agree with any of this. I don't want to live in a world where if you get to you get people being paid to play video games, like people watch them. They actually go out of their way to watch people play video games, and I definitely argued about that in this episode right here. But all I'm saying is you're making this so easy for people to just give up on their normal lives when you're saying to them you can make actual legitimate money, maybe not as much as you want personally, but you can make legitimate money doing the thing they do for free after they get off their regular job. They can replace their fucking job with a form of entertainment and make actual money off of it.
Well, that's first off, you're selling it yourself in a whole different way. One, you're already distributing the fact that they have to build themselves a community base of people who want to watch them play. To get a Twitch affiliate contract or YouTube, whatever the fuck it is, which is not easy to do. A lot of people can't do it, and you have to. Prime example, Steve tried streaming, didn't work for him. He wasn't very entertaining, but it's not impossible. My brother got Twitch affiliate. My buddy Victor got Twitch affiliate. They can make money, but they didn't have such a huge following. Point is that if you don't have a huge following, you're not gonna make a lot of money. $3,000 to $5,000 a month is like, I think you have to average like 100 subscribers, not just viewers, subscribers to your account to make that kind of money. And I could be wrong on the amount of subscribers you have to have. Again, I don't know. My point being is that video games, yes, entertainment. I get that, same as sports, but you're not. I can't imagine somebody paying out the same kind of money that a football player gets for somebody who sits there and knocks on the keyboard all day. And again, I'm not saying that I support sitting behind a computer and coding all day either. But at least with coding, like, you do a few hours of it, 5 to 8, you're good to go, whatever. Video games, on top of all that, on top of being the same situation where you have to sit on a chair, they're addictive. There are people who I know who have played for 24 to 48 hours straight without breaks because their brains get so enthralled in the process of gaming that they lose sight of time. And that is, in another form, addiction. Video game addiction also exists. And it's really, there's honestly nothing super beneficial unless you maybe make a video game, which has been done before, which teaches you how to save a person's life. I don't remember if you remember that hospital game from the Wii back in the day. A few people managed to actually save people in real life on the street who were like choking or having heart attacks because of that game. That's fine. I can support that sort of thing. But like, I'm sorry, League of Legends?
Sounds like you have a problem with workaholics, man. I'm genuinely impressed that this is a conversation between Danny being the optimist and not caring, and you being passionate about something that absolutely doesn't matter.
I'm just saying,
weird.
It's so backwards right now.
It's just
I get what you're saying, but also just consider the fact that even someone who's sitting around and coding all day isn't doing anything really that beneficial. They're just helping some other rich dude make more money, and they're sitting in a dark room typing in a computer, probably doing something a lot less interactive. Maybe they're challenging their brain a lot more, but I think you can make the argument that some people actually enjoy these puzzles and these things, and they want to do coding all day. So you're making it sound like if you enjoy your job, because your job is pretty much as someone paying you to do something, you're making it sound like if you enjoy your job, you should not enjoy your job. Go find something that makes you miserable and go do that instead.
I don't believe that you shouldn't. I mean, I think most people who play video games enjoy video games. If you find your
what's fucking wrong with being paid to play video games? Are you making it sound like it's I think that you can make an argument that for someone like you, it's almost like telling a young kid from the projects, don't play basketball all day because it's not very likely you're going to make a lot of money doing this. Instead, go learn a trade, go do this instead, because these are a lot healthier and safer for you versus playing basketball all day, because like a very small percentage of people make it into the NBA, just like a very small percentage of people make it into professional esports. I understand if that is your argument, but if your argument is absolute that if your career is playing video games and you should not do it, I can't stand behind you on that, because you're dancing in circles right now. Like,
I'm not saying that you shouldn't play video games, because I even play video games. And I've said this before. There should be a time and place where you have video games, but it needs to be like extremely cut back. Like if I had like Danny sees me, I barely touch the Xbox. If I touch it, it's maybe like once every 2-3 weeks.
That's true.
If I have time.
Yeah.
I don't play because I don't have time for it. I have things I have to keep myself busy with. But then I have so many people who are around me who are constantly playing, and I'm just like, dude, what? You're not making money. Like, there's, for you to, like I said, even if my people that I know were Twitch streamers with a lot of following, I'd get that. I'd be like, okay, cool, they're making money, but they're not. People aren't making money. People are just literally wasting their time. And from the scientific point of view, I was watching a video that somebody sent me where it talked about the amount of the biological aspect of your body's reaction to dopamine that gets released from your brain every time you're playing video games because of satisfaction. It starts to desensitize you from everything else that happens. I'm not saying don't play video games. I'm more than happy to let people play within a reasonable amount. But it's just today, so many people are straight up stuck on that crap that they don't do anything else. They don't want to learn a new ability. They don't want to learn how to make more money. And Danny, I love you, but like I tell you, same as I tell everybody else, that whole idea of money doesn't run the world. Money does run the world. Money saves your life in an emergency. Money saves your family and friends' lives in an emergency. Money will set up your life for the future and your children's and your grandchildren's. Money is literally the root of our existence. I know it sucks. I know it's hard to imagine that we have to live under this like capitalistic idea sometimes, but it is what it is. And believe me, I'd rather have that than having to fucking live under socialists who tell me how I have to live my life.
Okay,
because
Captain.
then you just end up getting killed.
Sorry. Go ahead.
Yeah.
What?
That's all I was gonna say. I'm like,
okay.
We have to make money.
And I got a question for you, Captain Money. If I told you right now that all the work you've been putting into your current business that you do every single day, I could take that away and put you in front of your Xbox for the same amount of money you're making right now, would you not take that?
No, because I want to make more money.
You fucking idiot. Listen to the question. Whatever money you're going to assume that you're going to make, and anything you're making currently right now, if I told you, stop what you're doing on a daily basis right now, go sit on that couch over there, pick up your Xbox controller, start playing, and I'll pay you the same exact amount of money. And you have room to grow. You will get more because of, that whole subscriber base and etc. and so forth. Would you not take that offer right now?
If I was to make that kind of money, which I doubt I would, sure, but I'm not making that, and I probably will not make that kind of money.
Okay, but you're assuming that people just don't already. Like, people actually put the amount of work you put into what you're doing right now into trying to find subscribers, build that base, and then monetize that. That's what we're doing right now in this stupid fucking podcast. Like, we're just sitting around doing football right now.
I do this for fun, but that's a different story.
I know but like, there are people like me then trying to monetize this as a form of income. And like, so I don't have to work regular stupid jobs. Like, I'd rather just sit here and talk to you guys all day and make like an exorbitant amount of money. That's the reality. I think anybody who like really wants to aspire to make a ton of money wants to do it in a way that's like becoming of them and what they want to do. Really easy, work and play, mix it together. Make money doing the things you love. I don't have to argue that with you. Please don't tell me I have to argue with that with you.
I would just say that in regards to, let's say, hypothetically, let's say this is a huge like focal point for monetization on this podcast. Let's say if I was in the same mindset as you, Everything else, including video games, for me would be on pause. I would spend all day sitting here chopping up every episode into clips that as much as I can to circulate them on the internet constantly, to try to get as much views as possible, to get the word spread as possible. I would make this my like air that I have to breathe. I have to be on this 24/7. Video games would be on the fucking back shelf for me. I'm sorry. If that was my mentality. Problem is, I don't do this for money. I do this for fun. I want to have a time where I can talk, and people can listen if they want to. Their choice. But I'm not doing this as an idea like, I need to make money off of this. Like, no, I'm here for fun. But if it blows up, I'm not against it. But if I was in that mindset where I want to make money, like I said, I would literally be on my computer right here, learning how to fucking do editing and clipping everything and figuring out ways to circulate this constantly on every fucking social media platform, everywhere I can, sending it to all my friends, be like, please share this, and bugging the fuck out of them. That would be me. Damn it.
Okay. I'm tired of having this fucking argument, but I'm just saying there are real people out there in the real world who like just that's it. They just do things as entertainment and then actually monetize it and make money that's good for them. They agree like their exchange for what they're making is fine. Not this weird like I have to make billions of dollars.
I just don't think that you make enough money, and I think the amount of dopamine gets released in your brain desensitizes you from the rest of the world. That's it.
Good. Hallelujah. I actually agree with you. Despite all this fucking bickering, I do agree with you. I think it's stupid that we've allowed that to happen. I don't even remember what the fucking original argument was. Now, like, we've gone
that
so
video
far
games
off base.
fucking screw people's lives up.
Well, everything screws people's lives up, dude. And there's nothing that people can't turn into an addiction. I think that's really what we're trying to say here during this entire fucking argument, this episode. The theme here is that anything can become a fucking addiction. All right? Like, now we're back on that. But I didn't even want to. I want to talk more about the video game shit. But, like, no. The reality is, yeah, the dopamine rush is real. And anyone, you can, and it's different. It varies from person to person where you can find that. Yeah, video games is easy. Like you pick up a video game and this is fun. I'm having a lot of fun. There's no world outside of this. I'm not like I don't have to worry about my job or my relationship or etc. etc. Now all I'm worried about is like how do I kill this boss? Boom. That's all people really want. Like that's real. You know, I pick up a beer. Now all I care about is how this beer is going to taste. That's a good beer. Now I want 5 more, 6 more, 10 more, and that's how you build a fucking addiction.
But what the fuck is
I want to turn on my computer today and jerk off 47 times and not be bothered because it makes me feel good. I'm not saying anything we're saying right now is like this is all.
Danny, I'm going to walk over and slap you.
Fine, but you're probably gonna catch me masturbating if you do.
You're
gonna open that door.
Fucking do it.
You're gonna open that door and watch me you're gonna see me jerking off right now as you open that door behind me. Go ahead, do it right now.
Call his bluff. Do it. Fucking do it, you pussy.
Jerk off.
This man's all
right,
talk.
that's it. Fuck you. Let's go.
What the fuck are we talking about? Okay, I'm pulling my fucking pants down right now. He's gonna see.
I wanna hear that slap from here.
Oh, I thought you were gonna do it. I was taking my pants off. I really was.
No, I don't want to see your small dick. I'm good.
Good news for you, it's not that small. You probably see it from your room over there. It's actually that big. It's snaking around the window right now. It's tapping you on the shoulder.
What are you? What are you?
No.
Boys now?
Those are the pussies that he's feeding. That's what that is.
Aw, don't bring my pussies into this. I love those guys.
Danny's love sausage from the boys. That's what he is.
Yeah. Quick update on that. If you don't know, my cats absolutely fucking adore me right now. 3 months in the making. Okay, not completely adore me, but they do actually come inside the house and I pet some of them. It's awesome. It's going great.
Jeez, someone's happy with external validation, isn't he?
Yeah. Speaking of, so I don't seek out human relationships. I go straight for pets. But the thing is, I earn it.
That's disgusting.
No, but I earn it in the same way that you like earn having sex with people. Like I earn the trust from these feral cats. I did it. I'm not fucking them. Let's be perfectly clear. I'm just saying they're pretty fucking feral, dude. Like every time you go outside to go to your job, they run away from you because they're not adapted to humans. But they're getting used to me. I'm the face. I provide the food and the love.
All I know is that those little bastards, every time I come by, if I come out with the bowl, they'll come up and huddle around me. If I walk down the stairs in my car, they run away. So I guess they're not feral. They're just wild cats. But
all right.
Hopefully they don't become feral. God forbid.
Fantastic. What the fuck were we talking about? This went off the rails. But
addiction in video games.
I know, but our original point. So Omid asked us something like 50 minutes ago, or whatever the fuck it was, and I forgot completely. Something about like the gate. But then there was another question after that.
Video gate.
Omid just sit. I think Omid did that to just trigger us and sit back with his fucking popcorn and just watch us go to town.
Are you talking about when I commented on Vlad's thing when I asked about Gamergate and people in chat rooms?
No,
and women in chat rooms.
That's how we started. And then you asked about Vlad and his he has to be miserable at his job or whatever he prefers. And then I forgot where we were going with it, but oh my god, yeah. So video games are an addiction, and everything's an addiction. I said all that.
People are lazy.
Yeah.
Okay, that's it.
Okay,
End story.
So as a society, that's right. Yeah. So there was actually like the peak of video games. I think happened in the early 2000s, where like it was just complete anarchy, right? So people were just thrown into groups, huddled online, and you had to like fight each other and argue, and everyone had the means to communicate, and it was just fucking like ungoverned and completely chaotic. It was awesome. But then, like, over time, it got, like, they developed it, they made it better, and you can, like, now join groups with parties, and, like, with friends, you don't have to talk to anybody else. And I was going to say, on that note, that, can you guys still hear me, or did I cut out?
I can hear you.
Okay, cool, so Vlad's completely frozen. Anyway, so on that
I'm
note...
just not moving.
Yeah, I know. on that note, I'm going to say, through the entire, like, pandemic, the early phases, through, like, for, like, a year or so, all the socializing I got was done on PlayStation. Like, because no one was going out to see each other. So I was gonna, like, in a weird way, because of this pandemic, like, there was actual value to video games that wasn't, like, just dopamine rush. It was actually, like, I got to socialize and talk to my friends on a daily basis because there was really nothing else to do. You couldn't see people face to face. So I used, the PlayStation as a means to socialize. And I can say for a fact today, I don't really care about video games. Like, I don't go out and buy the latest thing. Like, all my friends got PS5s. I don't care. I'll wait, or just never get it at all. Whatever. But in a weird way, video games were actually more important. I guess the systems themselves, not the actual games, although we did huddle around games too, for sure, have become a weird way that we all got together over the pandemic. But it's not the same as it was before. Like, back in the day, when you got into public lobbies, you had to fight for your goddamn life, and you can tell the kind of people who were a part of that. And now it's really soft. Like, the type, like, you don't even want to talk to people. You don't have to associate or talk to people in video games anymore. Number one. And number two, there's actually one game still standing that I think can actually breed strength when it comes to, as far as entertainment goes. Like, don't get me wrong, it's still video games. It's not going to make you like John Rambo or anything, but League of Legends, I play that game. I'll admit that. I played.
Oh my god.
Yeah, I'll say it out loud. Yeah, League of Legends is like, it used to be the most played game in the world. It's still like top 5, top 10. It's like a lot of people play this game. Oh my god, if you want to know something, like, you want to like have the experience that people like us back in the day used to have, like in public lobbies, circa 2007, 2008, just pick up League of Legends, because there's still public typing. You can talk amongst like the 10 people who are in the lobby with you, and they have nothing nice to say 100% of the time. It's all posturing and aggression and insults, and it's just salt, just riddled with salt, and it's fucking absurd. I never partake in it. I'm like, well, past that. I'm a tough guy, right? Because I went through those lobbies when I was a kid. I don't have to explain myself to people or tell them how fucking cool I am and I fucked your mother. I'm beyond it. I'm strong in the mind. But believe me, the people out there in that game, in that environment, is highly toxic. Don't let anybody who works in that at Riot or at League of Legends tell you otherwise, because it is still the worst video game on the planet when it comes to dealing with people. They make it easy for people to just insult each other and be mean to each other and rude, and they don't ban anybody. You can say whatever fuck they want, and they can tell you that like your reports actually matter to their system of these accounts. Those people come right back, and they come back even angrier. Anyway, that was my rant on the video games.
Toxic. Okay.
Good. So that's basically the point in the podcast where we have nothing left to say because Vlad's just making weird arbitrary insults about my face, my very beautiful face. Yeah.
Your pyramid-shaped nose.
I would assume so. I am part Egyptian.
Mm-hmm.
And Jews did help build this face.
Mm-hmm. We actually never built the pyramids, technically, but
Okay. Enlighten me.
Different times.
Good.
History.
Oh my god. Omid, do you have anything to contribute? Or am I going to just keep rambling about video games and pyramids?
And your nose.
I lost interest after I heard your nose.
Okay. Cool. So I think then we're going to call it there then for this episode of Does This Offend You? Does that sound good to you, gentlemen?
What the fuck are we talking about again?
I don't know, dude. That's the point. We talk about fucking everything today. We talk about everything. Addiction to video games. Like from addiction to video games and everything on the spectrum. Relationships too. That was fun. That's good. But yeah, are you guys good? Are you settled? You lost interest?
Before we leave, one last thing I wanted to comment.
Okay.
This is a news article came out. Don't know how true it is. It's reported by Daily Mail and then shared by a few outlets like Fox News. But supposedly, according to the report, Boston University was doing forced evolutionary virus testing on COVID-19, and supposedly, they created a strain of COVID-19 that has an 80% kill rate.
They engineered this.
Well, they forced evolutionary virus that shit to make a strain that has an 80% kill rate.
I don't know what that means, so no comment.
Basically, you know how COVID-19 right now, you have a 99% survival rate, so you get it.
I
you
know
probably
what
know
it.
that.
I know what it means. I don't know what you're talking about of the evolutionary studies. Like,
So basically, forced evolutionary studies where you take a virus and you try to pass it through multiple hosts and force it into mutation to make it more deadly. And it's something that
so basically, every time they make a deadly strain, they take that one and they inoculate that into other animal or whatever, and keep going until they inoculate a very deadly strain. Is that what you're
yes,
telling me?
exactly. So
Okay.
supposedly they've made a very deadly strain of COVID-19 that has an 80% kill rate.
Sounds like they just fixed the game in their favor, so good for them. Like, now what are we talking about? Are they trying to release it? Are they
No,
gonna
but the
kill
fact that the
it?
problem was that originally was the reason why COVID-19 became such a huge thing was because the reason why the outbreak even occurred back in 2020 was because of the fact that they were doing this kind of process over in, I guess, in China in the laboratory, and that's how it essentially escaped, because somebody got sick during the process and the pandemic occurred. Now, since you figure, we learned from our first time of not doing it, now that we're still doing it, and now we actually have a very deadly version of it, possibly, if it is true, and this one gets out, we are most likely all fucked. Which I thought was an interesting read. But again, it's Daily Mail reporting it, so I'm not sure how accurate this is. But figured to let you guys know. And I have the article if you want to read it.
Thanks.
I'll be skeptical of it, but
I just don't care anymore. COVID this, COVID that. And I think we're all past it, right?
I think
If we had a deadly version, why not?
I don't know, dude. I feel like that's just news trying to play on your emotions. Also, you're super biased.
So.
Yeah. All right. Cool. So we have nothing less to talk about. So with all that being said, this has been another fantastic episode of Does This Offend You? Don't forget to like, share, comment down below. Tell us about, I don't know, your addictions and your AA experience, relationships, how much you like video games. Do you get paid to play video games? Please tell us how that works, because I would like to try that. And of course, don't forget to subscribe and follow us over on the Spotify. Thank you very much. That is Vlad. That is Omid. I am Danny. Next week, we learn how to effectively curb stomp. Thanks for watching. See you soon.